warm welcome to this special edition of Talk Time. My guest today is someone who has seen and done it all. The prima donna of Indian classical dance, Bharatanatyam, Odissi, and of course, Manipuri. A member of the Rajya Sabha, she is known for her wit and humor, even anger. But in the end, she is a stunning and adorable personality. Yes, you have guessed it right. My guest is none other than the dance muse, Sonal Mansingh. Sonal Mansingh ji, once again, welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for your wonderful words.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. You see, it has been 6 decades that you have been performing, almost 6 decades that you have been performing. My question is, you have mesmerized audiences around the world. Now, do you get that sense, what kind of a change people's attitude towards performing arts? Do you get this feeling that, there's been stifling, anorexic, feeling towards the space, as far as space for performing arts is concerned?
I wish I could ask this question in Rajya Sabha.
Yeah, you should. You should actually.
No, I think you are bang on. In a way, understandable, the overwhelming influence or the overwhelming encroachment on spaces for arts, of films, social media, reality shows, television, and on and on and on.
True.
What people can do sitting at home on their computer or on their mobile, they may not want to go out in the traffic and sit in a theatre. But you'll be surprised. The other side is very bright.
Okay.
Having said this,
What is the other side?
the theatres are still full for music, for dance, for theatre, puppetry, and all other forms of performing arts. Because performance arts are the ones which demand your attention.
Absolutely.
And more so, as you rightly said, the dance. Even the music you can listen to.
Yeah, while driving you can listen to music.
Exactly, driving on the bathroom, in the office, at
Absolutely.
home.
Yeah.
But for dance, it's all your everything, your full attention.
So, for someone who has faced all this, see, nowadays you get an auditorium, but those days auditoriums were a few, so you have to book the auditorium and must have been booked in advance. So when you started in 1962, how was the scene like and what has the transformation been? And the challenges are much more now because you have the FM radio, you have the earplugs, you can listen to music all day long and whatnot, and we have the computer games to pass time, so on and so forth. So, do you think the challenge for a performing artist, for a dancer, it's much more these days?
As long as only ears are plugged, it's okay. The mind should not be plugged.
That's a very important statement you are making. Will you elaborate on that?
The mind plugging is happening rapidly because the attention span is getting shorter and shorter. I asked my student, Assami student who traveled with me today, she's a very brilliant, bright girl doing her MA in performing arts. I said, what is TikTok?
Yeah.
And she was trying to explain. But I said, there is Instagram, there is Facebook, there is Twitter, LinkedIn, and I don't know how many other things. And then what is this TikTok?
That's a craze these days.
And that is she said, only for 20 seconds, max 30 seconds. And there is a GIF.
Yeah.
So I said, now it's coming down maybe to 5 seconds. So that's why I said, that very easily the mind can get rusty and lazy. And this is the danger we are facing of being overpowered by machines, by technology. It's not only about dance, we are now taking it a little forward.
Right.
That the whole idea of robotic culture Second is that living in the virtual world.
Right. Now, you know, the challenge from the virtual world, and you have used the word, the mind should not be plugged.
Yeah.
That can have a lot of interpretations. You see, the labeling of artists, this is pro-establishment artist hai. Ye to anti-establishment artist hai. You have faced it yourself.
Yeah.
You accepted that invitation to perform in Washington, D.C. That event was organized by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad to mark 100 years of Swami Vivekananda's, you know, speech in Chicago.
Correct.
So fine, somebody is celebrating it, you have been invited, you have gone, and somebody calls you, and your own fraternity people from the cultural arena calls you a saffron artist. Does it hurt you?
I think at that point I was angry,
Yeah.
shocked, surprised, because now that we are talking about it,
Yes.
Vaspeer, Sahamat, which was a part of that whole cabal, which
Shabana Azmi and all.
yeah, Sahamat, this Safdar Hashmi's sister, Shabnam and others.
Mhm.
I was one of the, let's say, founders of Sahamat. I danced for
Artists
them.
against communalism.
It was just called Sahamat.
Sehmat, okay.
And you know that Safdar Hashmi was killed
Yes.
by the Congress goons. That was also known.
Absolutely.
So we were dancing on streets. We were dancing in Aligarh after 100 days curfew. We were dancing in Shivaji Park in Bombay, going in rickety buses and whatnot. Having done all that, they suddenly become my Jani Dushman, my enemies. I couldn't understand. There was Swami Agnivesh asking me, if Hitler had asked you to dance, would you have danced, you know? So you are right.
Shabana Azmi had also asked you.
Shabana, Kaifi, Azmi, they were all there, and they were asking all kinds. Kuldeep Nair was in the chair.
Yeah.
And funny thing, let me tell you, I gave a scathing reply. Arjun Singh was HRD minister. He blocked the visas of my artists. I had a 10-year visa. He had blocked, so nobody could go. I ran to the foreign secretary, Mani Dikshit, who later became, you know, the NSA
Yes.
and all.
Yes.
Lovely person. And he said, I'll fix it. We never said that. He called up the ambassador, US. He said, oh, we had instructions. I said, from who? I'm not aware. And he said, well, I have to tell you from your cabinet minister. Which cabinet minister? He said, Mr. Arjun Singh. That Sonal Mansingh should not be given visa. They should not go to. Now, you know, it was not just me. There was Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji,
Yeah.
the flute maestro. There was Anuradha Podwal.
Mhm.
There was Anup Jalota. They had no problem. The problem was only with me. And you remember that all these editorials were written about me, and so later on once I told Sitaram Yechuri, because he was in JNU student
Yeah.
leader when I used to dance, and
Yeah.
he calls me ma'am. I told him, I said, Sitaram, thank you so much. You gave me free publicity worth lakhs. And he didn't know where to look.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the intolerance,
Mm.
the intolerance of this whole brigade, I think it worked. You may say it cuts both ways, but with me,
Now, the same people, the same people would like to call others intolerant. The same set of people
Yeah.
calls a certain other people intolerant.
yeah, that's the game.
That's the game. But you know, you as artist, you are far beyond this game. Let me take you back. Your paternal, grandfather, Mangaldas Pagwasa,
Correct.
one of the first 5 governors of independent India.
Correct. Your memory is.
You actually grew up in Raj Bhavans
Yeah.
those days, and you used to see a lot of cultural activity going on, doyens of Indian classical art, dance, music. There were people, Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab, Ustad Hafiz Ali Khan Sahab, the father of Ustad Amjad Ali Khan Sahab. You see the Dagar brothers, you name it, Subbalakshmi ji, you name it. So you've seen it all. Now, what is the transformation like? These are stories of decades ago, and today you are yourself a doyen. You must have been looking up to them those days, but today you are a doyen yourself. Now how do you see this transformation? Very briefly, what has gone wrong? What is right? Is it the future bright?
Right, the future bright. I always say future is bright. Because I think dum hai.
Dum hai.
बात में दम है, कला में दम है, विद्या में दम है, परंपरा में दम है, बात में दम है. And because there is the core is so strong, so vibrant, and so there is so much sense that it is contextual. You know, we do not live in caves. Even if you say actually I started 1961, Wikipedia is wrong.
61, okay.
Wikipedia is wrong. Google Acharya is wrong.
Okay.
The great Acharya Google.
Acharya Google. Google Acharya, that's a very interesting word. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I say is that the art has lived for thousands of years because the core has remained, but the art and the artists, the interpretations have changed over with context to the time. Okay. I'll give you one example, allow me. My favorite example, that now we are talking about the cleaning of rivers.
Right.
Pollution.
Yeah.
My performance, my take from Krishna's life, Srimad Bhagavat, that when he battles the poisonous serpent, Nag, Kaliya, vanquishes it and says, go away, far away from human habitation where you cannot, and the Naga, the cobra, goes away with the family. The river is cleansed. I say this is the message that the poison has to be removed, has to be taken away, has to be thrown away.
Yeah.
But who is the Krishna? Is it Vasveer? Is it the Supreme Court? Is it the government? Whenever I ask this question, especially with young people, you'll be surprised. They say, Hum sab Krishna hai. And I say, bas, my day is made, my work is done.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Very fine example there. Yeah. On this note, I go for a short break, but don't go away. I'll come back to this very, very engaging conversation with Danseuse Sonal Mansingh. Welcome back. I am in conversation with the one and only Sonal Mansingh. Sonal Mansingh ji, you know, we are talking about the transformation. Now you are saying that when the core is strong, nothing can attack, nothing can destroy. We are of course talking in the context of Indian classical dance, Indian classical music, Indian classical art forms. Now the question is, why is it that, you know, people still seek government patronage? You know, is it not possible to further Indian classical dance music without government patronage? Now the issue is, there is no harm in government patronage, but why should you beg in front of the, I'm talking about some people, some organizations. Why should they always beg? Is it not mandatory on the part of the government to boost our traditional classical dance forms, music, art forms, and revive those which are already dying? People like, Bismillah Khan, and at the end also people were talking, oh, he's in penury, so on and so forth. It's just one example. There are lots of others in going through difficult days. What should be done? What is the road ahead? Is it, easy to blame the government?
The last one. Blaming government is sort of done. It's a done thing. It's a given. I would say India is the phrase that I've used often. India is a feudal democracy. You remember till 70 years ago, till Sardar Patel coalesced all the principalities and their native kingdoms.
Yeah.
What was India?
So it was a scattered lot of...
Yeah, and arts always need patronage. arts, even whether it's the USA in America, the Arts Council, or in UK or in
Even when the
Australia,
kings were ruling, even
when the kings
it was
were
a court
ruling,
patronage.
and the temples were given that endowment. The temples were the patrons also. The kings were patrons.
Yeah.
The zamindars were patrons. The rich people were patrons. The rasikas were patrons. My point is that the government is doing and has done over the decades since independence. Otherwise, the old art forms which are lost, like Odissi, like Kuchipudi, like Hattriya, they would not have been so popular today. Second thing is, India is such a mind-bogglingly rich and varied cultured country. So many subcultures,
Yeah.
so many cultural communities. Number three, and very importantly, why is it that only sports garners so much
Media spotlight.
CSR
Mhm.
and
Yes.
media spotlight?
Yeah.
Why? CSR doesn't apply, the corporates don't come forward to patronize the arts. Now, I'll tell you something little, not comic, little humorous. It was just day before yesterday
Yeah.
in Parliament. Mary Combe was sitting not in this house. She must have signed and she was sitting in the corridor. And I said, "Hi Mary, how are you?" And I had my other colleague with me, another Rajya Sabha nominated member, economist. I said, "Oh, fine." I said, "We haven't seen you. How are you? You're busy, huh? Winning medals." She said, "Yes, it's very." I
Yeah.
said, "Mary, even we have to practice. You win medals, we win the hearts." Now, what I'm saying is that there is no digital record for performing arts. We don't win medals. We are not given gold medals because it's a very different genre. Sports is different. You can count wickets, sixers, bouncers.
But you are given national awards.
No. What I'm coming to this,
Yeah.
that you cannot quantify, and
You cannot quantify.
today the time is for quantifying, and this is intangible. This is the intangibility of the arts that has to be understood.
Now, that's a very, very significant thing, Sonal Mansingh ji, that you are saying. Now that you are a Rajya Sabha MP, maybe this is the right platform for a personality like you to actually, what are you planning to do actually? Sorry, I've diverted the question because it's context. I'm asking you this question in this context. What could you possibly do as a member of this very, very important house, member of the Rajya Sabha?
Good question. By the way, for the information of your wonderful viewers, I am so honored and I'm grateful to Prime Minister Modi and the President that after almost a quarter of a century, I'm only the second artist. We are not talking of films,
Yeah,
okay,
performing artist.
after Pandit Ravi Shankar.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that
yeah.
to a dancer. So, at one stroke they have removed that kind of a, not stigma, but that kind of a thing, a dancer, dance.
Discrimination, if we may
Yeah.
use the word.
Yeah, okay. Now, it's going to be a year on 18 July, and I am now more conversant with the
Procedures and all that.
procedures and whatnot. So my first, I think, speech is going to be in another fortnight, a proper one. I've made interventions, but a proper one. And that's going to be on culture, the various facets, and I'm going to bring out some of the points that we are discussing.
Right.
What I will do, or what I can do, what I plan to do is A, to raise questions, B, to demand answers, C, the standing committee is also a very potent space, to get things
Yeah.
done. And naturally my standing committee would be culture and tourism, if not others, a few others. So push and push and push, and somewhere I might even stand up and do some, to attract attention,
Yeah.
to attract attention to the living problems of performing artists.
Absolutely. Now, you see, that's a very important.
Just wait,
Yeah.
give me one.
Yeah,
must
please.
wait. GST. I told Mr. Jaitley when he was better.
Finance Minister, yeah.
Better, yeah, a few months ago. I caught him in the Central Hall and I said, the Bollywood delegation meets you, Mr. Prime Minister, and you very kindly bring down the GST. You know that. 18% on performing artists, they are earning in crores. And here, he said, oh, Arijit Singh, wo kya naam hai uska? Wo to 1.5-2 crore. I said, Arijit Singh is not a performing artist, it's a different genre. I'm talking of classical, tribal, folk performing artists. We get 1.5 lakhs. They are getting 1.5 crores.
So this is one of the points that obviously this can be taken as a very, very broad hint. This is one of the issues that you are going to fight for. Okay. So that's is it because my follow-up question to this is, why are performing artists always at the receiving end? Is it because you don't have there is hardly any unity, if I may use the word, because there is cutthroat competition among the performing artists themselves. So there are very few. I'm not generalizing. I cannot generalize. The people, oh ye, oh hai, ye hai. Then there is no organization, there is no association, there is cutthroat competition, cats and dogs kind of a situation at times. So is it one of the reasons why the performing artists are in this kind of a situation across the country today?
How do you get to hit the nail on the head? That's weird. I mean,
because I have been studying the situation.
I know, really. I'm amazed and I compliment you.
Thank you.
You are absolutely bang on. You're right. I was very happy in Pune. I was there just 2 weeks ago at the invitation of the mayor of Pune for a function to give the award in the name of a great dancer of Pune. In Pune, I was so amazed that the dancers are so united. Maybe that's the one of its kind. But you're right that there is no equity, there is no association. In Chennai, there is the All India Bharatanatyam Artists Association.
Yeah.
In Chennai, and that too, I think. But no, nothing India-wide, nothing country-wide. There is no arts council as such. There is Sangeet Natak Academy.
I have to go for another break, but are you prepared to take the lead now that apart from everything else, you are also an MP now? You have a big platform at your disposal. You can raise a voice. Now, outside the house, will you be prepared to take this lead in uniting, organizing the performing artists into some kind of, even if it is a loose organization to start with? Are you thinking? Fingers crossed. Let's hope for the best. On that note, we go for another short break. Stay on, don't go away. I'll be right back with Sonal Mansingh. Welcome back. I'm still in conversation with Sonal Mansingh. Sonal Mansingh ji, you started, we are talking in Guwahati, which is the gateway to the Northeast India. You started with Manipuri dance as I
was 4 years old.
You were 4 years. Then, and that too, you started Manipuri under a guru in Chennai, right? If I'm not Nagpur. Manipuri in Nagpur when you were 4 years old.
He had come from Shanti Niketan.
Achha.
And my mother, my Dadaji, my paternal grandmother, they were very fond. My mother was learning Manipuri actually later or earlier, whatever. She had seen Uday Shankar and she said, oh my God, this child must dance. She was pregnant with me, the second child.
Okay.
So I often say that I have had no choice in the matter. She willed it that this child, boy or girl, must become a dancer, and I became a dancer.
So your learning started while you were in the mother's womb, actually. Okay, so I mean, why Manipuri and how did you sift, basically?
No, Manipuri because that was the only teacher available
there.
1947-48, when we came back to Bombay, when it completed the tenure. And then my mother found another wonderful guru, but that was Bharatanatyam.
That's how
because
you
all
went
our family friends, their daughters were learning. And then when Dadaji was appointed governor of Mysore, so Bangalore was the hub,
Bangalore was the hub.
and she found my fantastic guru. So the credit goes to my mother. She was at it for me because she recognized that. My older sister was not very, and a younger brother, Chutku. So
So that's how
Yeah.
you started. So now you know when you see, take the case of the Northeast. It took so many years for Hottriya to be recognized as an Indian classical dance form. Why this? What about you know? What are the other dance forms you think now should be recognized in the country? We have several of them now recognized, but Hottriya also took such a long time.
you'll be happy to know that I and Himanshu Shekhar Das were the two, and Dr. Bhupen Hazarika,
Yeah.
that we brought Hottriya and we insisted on it being recognized as the. But you know, when you say classical, you have to understand the word Shastriya. Shastra is a Bharatanatyam Shastra. So those which adhere to the norms of the Shastra, then because then there are so many, as you said, arts, you know, but they are not Shastriya.
Yeah.
There are Lok Kala, there are Janajati. So there are different genres. When you say Shastriya, then you only have these 8.
Okay, and now you see, I mean, we had done an earlier. You were on my show several years ago. That was at your residence in New Delhi. That was just when the show started. By the way, it was 11 years ago, and that means my show, this talk time, is going on for the past 11 years. You see, you had talked about the link between spirituality, and you said that spiritualism and religion are two absolutely different things.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I mean, what is the connect when you can be so passionate in what you are doing, that is classical dance? That do you think that is not possible without a person being a spiritual connect? There has to be some connect somewhere. There has to be some guiding force, something. You know, because this is not a Western dance. This is not foxtrot or you know, something like that.
you are asking such questions that in your little time frame we cannot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You now in one question you have put 3 things. The last one I take first, that this is not foxtrot. I would say even foxtrot or tango or waltz can give that feeling of spirituality.
Can give.
Can. When it is danced with such concentrated energy and total focus. So the bodies become one whirl in space, like the atoms. And I have observed that. Another thing you said, religion and spirituality, and whether artists can perform without that. I'll take religion first. I don't appreciate the way it is being used as an abuse.
Yeah.
Religion is a beautiful word coming from the Greek root religio, to know. Actually, it is the knowledge. The word means knowledge, knowledge about who you are, your identity, your being, your existence.
Absolutely.
And your connect with the rest of the things, with the world, with the cosmos, with universe. That is religion. And therefore, obviously, the follow-up is spirituality. That when you are connected to all this, then naturally you are lifted.
Absolutely.
है ना?
Absolutely. Now, I am running absolutely short of time. What is Sonal Mansingh's weakness? How does Sonal Mansingh wants to be remembered?
Hey, I'm still alive.
And dancing, of course. Alive and dancing, most importantly.
And kicking a few times.
Absolutely. And suppose you would not have been a dancer, what could you possibly have been?
I don't know. Maybe I would have become a tree.
You'd have become a tree?
Giving flowers,
Mm-hmm.
fragrant flowers. I don't know. I may have become a cloud floating around.
Cloud, okay, cloud floating around, and I want your ideas to float around across the country, spread the message of peace and love. Thank you very much,
Thank
Sonal Singh Ji,
you,
for being on my show.
Jasveer, it's a great pleasure, and
Pleasure.
I hope to see you again and talk to you
Pleasure is
again.
mine. Thank you.
Thank you.